Hi, so let's continue with our first lab, and the first lab will tackle the question of setting up, configuring the network on one VM. So this is a question that you will necessarily have on the RHCSA exam, so you need to know how to fix this. This is an important one, and if you don't fix this one, there might be some other questions you might not even be able to treat because, well, if the network doesn't work, then many other things won't work as they should. So it's very important. We will, in this video, we will go over it with nmtui, and in the second video, we will use nmcli and hostname control. So nmtui is basically the NetworkManager GUI, so it makes it very easy. It's probably the easiest way, so it's, I think, the path that most of you will take to answer this question, and it's fine. It's completely fine, it works good. So in this case I put some arbitrary IP addresses, some private class B IP addresses, but you can really put any kind of address you want. It doesn't matter. It's really up to you to choose which class or which IP you want to use. Anyway, they will be different in the exam. They will ask you, they asked me, IP address, gateway, and DNS server will be there, and hostname will probably be there as well. You need to know how to do these things and make sure the configuration is persistent across reboots. This is very important. Regardless of what you're doing, you will need to have those configurations for the other questions just the same. You will need to have them persistent across reboots. This is very important. I even suggest you reboot your servers at the end and check again the results of each question. That way you will be certain that everything will be configured nicely in a persistent manner. This is very important. So now we are on our client here. We configured our Vagrant images to be running as VMs, and we have our two VMs. We have here the client and here we have the server, but it really doesn't matter how you call them. So I'm logging as root. If you don't know how to do it with Vagrant on, check my first video, the 00 video. This is where I explain how to set up things for the lab with Vagrant and VirtualBox. So now we are going to use nmtui. So it's very simple. What you do, you type nmtui. And when you're there, you edit a connection. So basically you type nmtui and then you press enter because you're already on edit connection. Then here, okay, maybe I go back a bit because, wait a second, I will show you something before that. IPCA, IP, so IP is the command, this -c -c is for color and A is for all of them. So basically you will show the interfaces. And just to tell you, this at 0 here is actually the management interface for Vagrant, so you don't touch that, otherwise things will go wrong. In our case, you want to touch the ETH1, so Ethernet 1 interface. So we go back to nmtui. It's actually very important to know this command, this IP, the C is not mandatory, but it's nice because you see it in color. You can see quickly the IPs. If you do just IPA, then you will see the interfaces, but yeah, you need to concentrate and read. It's much better with color. So I will click on that and go back, and we will use nmtui. And you will edit a connection. So you edit system at 1 because this is the one that we want to edit, and you go there, and then I already have something set up, but I don't care. I will put my own. So now we want to set exactly what we have here, and you will have a very similar question in the exam. So you go here and you change the IP. Make sure the above is set as manual here, because you can set it as automatic, which will be DHCP. You don't want that. You don't want it to be disabled either. So anyway, you want it to be manual, so make sure it's manual. And you will set, unless they tell you to set it as automatic DHCP, but that's unlikely. I haven't heard about this. Maybe, who knows. In which case it's easy because you just say automatic. Okay, so you just set one gateway. So gateway is written here. So yes, 111, you just type it. You know, it's super easy. And DNS server. So you tap enter to be able to add it, and then you just type it, and that's it. We don't need to do routing because it will add automatically a default route. We will see it later. So basically, you don't need the IPv6 stuff either. I mean, we could, but it's not in the exam, so you don't need it. And then you just press OK. So basically, it's already done. But there is one trick: is that you need to deactivate and reactivate. So again, here you will go to, in this case we went to edit connection, now we want to activate a connection, and we will go here. It's very important that you don't deactivate at 0, otherwise we'll lose our vagrant connection, because as I told you, as Ethernet 0 is for the internal vagrant connection. And then you use system at 1 and you deactivate it. So basically you press on deactivate, now it's deactivated, and you see that there is no star anymore. So now you go back to system at 1 and then you press activate, and now if I do back and quit, oh yeah, we want to set the system hostname, sorry. Let's do it also in nmtui, NetworkManager TUI, and here. So for instance here I have this, but we will change it to choubidou.lab. choubidou.lab, and we go to OK. You use the tab or the arrow keys to go to OK, and you see it did the stuff. So now basically we are already done. And if I press on quit, then I won't see it, so I can just log out and log in again, and then you will see that I am logged in as choubidou. You see the hostname is now choubidou, which is fine. This is what we wanted. And we can also check the IPs, is everything correct? I strongly suggest that you do the same, and you will see that at1 is configured, you're having this IP, and we will check now the route. You can do IPR, or you can do IP route if you want the long version, but IPR works the same. So if I clear this and I do IPR for route, you know, then you will see this. So basically, that's it. We answered now all the question using nmtui. It's the easiest, it's very straightforward. You follow the GUI, you just need to bring in everything there. It's super simple, I think, and so I recommend everyone going this way. But if you want to go the more painful way, I will make a video on nmcli and hostname control. It's not very complicated, but it's more, it's adding a layer of complexity because you need to know a bit the command line, which maybe is quicker actually if you know how to use it, but yeah. Oh, and that's it for this video with nmtui. Let's jump to nmcli and hostnamectl, or if you want to rush that thing, you don't necessarily need to learn nmcli, I think, because for the exam you can just manage with nmtui, but I think it's good to know, especially if they expressly ask you to use nmcli. I don't know why, I mean, it's unlikely, and why, and you could always use an nmtui normally, but who knows, maybe they change things. So, this is the way. Goodbye.